Hey, Michael, I'm just kind of curious what your thoughts are, that you're getting ready to play your last home game at Carolina, how the culture of the program has changed the last 2 years since Mac was hired, and your role in helping to change that culture.
To answer the first question, I think the full culture change is the biggest factor is that we're like having fun. Like we're having a lot of fun since, no disrespect to like anybody else, but Mac Brown and like the coaching staff we brought in, it was like it's fun to play football again. It feels like Pee Wee, and that's what you can really ask for. That's all you can really ask for. And then as far as like my contribution, like I think that's for y'all to decide. I'm just happy to be able to lead and have a good relationship with my teammates, and hopefully, have these relationships last forever.
You have a couple more games to play, but up to this point, what is your favorite personal on-field moment or achievement?
My first on the field, my favorite on the field moment?
Yeah, either your achievement or maybe just a moment that you guys experienced. It could be about you if you want.
I think just personally, like probably the Miami game probably the Miami game because of how much losing we had done before, that last season, before last season. And just to show people that South Carolina was not like a fluke game, that we can compete with anybody. And so I think it was more the significance of the win than the win itself. And so that's probably my favorite one.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, let's go over to Kiara Luck, please. Oh, I think you're on mute.
Hey, Michael, I'm sorry.
There we go.
So when you look back over your 4 years at Carolina, what is the one thing that you want for everyone to remember you by?
I want them to remember me for being a good person. First, I feel like I like talking to y'all, so I hope y'all understand that I like y'all too, and I appreciate y'all. And then just be like a good player. At the end of the day, I think all the players want to leave a legacy on the field, and I'm one of them. So I hope that y'all remember me for being a good player.
So what does that legacy on the field look like for you?
That's up to y'all. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think I did some good stuff. But at the end of the day, I leave that to y'all conversation.
All right. Next up is Gregory Hall.
Michael, what would you tell high school senior Michael Carter as you get ready to come to Carolina and play 4 years of college football? What would you go back and tell him after you've gone through 4 years of college football?
I would tell my younger self to just stay down. Like, just stay grounded. Just like, when I mean by like stay down, like your time's coming, Mike. You just gotta be patient. And even though you're getting opportunities early, this is not the end of the road. Just because you had a good freshman year, don't mean that, you can't have a better one, better sophomore year, better junior year. So just always, keep improving, and don't let any moment get too big or too small.
Okay, let's go over to Russ Martin.
Hey, Michael, how do you think UNC has helped you grow as a person outside of football? Talking off the field, anything off the field that's helped you kind of develop in the experiences there?
Yeah, I learned that college was you learn more outside of the classroom than you do inside. I learned a lot about my experiences in the locker room and just having like friendships and relationships in the locker room and around the building that I can just learn from every day. I think that. Sorry, I don't know if y'all heard that, but they were doing a lot of commotion. But I learned a lot just about myself. Not to let anything get too big or too small, because one day you flip it into the end zone and they loving you, then you fumble on the one the next time. And so you can't let any moment get too big and too small. I didn't forget. Y'all bash me. But it's straight though.
What like other than football, like what about UNC has changed?
Yeah, I learned like how to get out of my comfort zone. first
Say
and
it
foremost,
again.
how to get out of my comfort zone, because I've definitely felt like I can talk to anybody. I can be personable to anybody. So that just like exercising my my social side of myself has just been like really fun just my last 4 years. And just like getting to know people, like, it's really fun. So.
Great. Thanks, Michael.
Go ahead, Adam Smith.
Hey, Michael. As you've gone about thinking about senior day and just what that's going to look like and feel like for you and how it's going to be different than, a normal senior day and probably what you pictured for the way you would wrap up your college career, just what's that thought process like and what do you think it's going to be like?
I think it's gonna be special. I don't know how it's gonna feel yet, because I don't think that you can really put it into words, and everybody's experience is different. But I'm definitely like grateful to have been playing here for the last 4 years. So, just like looking forward. I don't want to get too far ahead, but just like looking forward to Saturday and actually having my last game here is crazy. So, just a blessing to be here.
Okay, let's go over to Mark Armstrong.
Michael, given everything you've been through, like with the team and just everything else, does it feel like the time is whipped by, or does it feel like you've been at Carolina for a long time right now?
A little bit of both. I feel like it feels so long ago. I just feel so long ago when I got here. But then I look at the picture of like the first day I was in my dorm and it felt like yesterday. So it's flown by, but not too fast. Like it's flown by, but like at a slow flying rate. Like
You've had one of the more interesting careers at Carolina, given the what happened at quarterback, the position change, and how much you've excelled at linebacker. If you were to write your own story about your UNC football experience, what would you lead that story with? What would be your first sentence?
I don't know.
Not to put you on the spot or anything.
I mean, it's been a journey. It's been up and down. I'm just thankful for the relationships really I built with the coaching staff here and the teammates, the guys I came in with. That's really what I'm most thankful for.
Is there something about you, something that you've learned through this process that you think has made you a better person, and regardless of whatever you do the rest of your life will kind of be a part of that process?
I think just like how I was raised really like impacted me. I think I'm really tough, able to overcome, adversity that I had. So I think going forward, I think that's just the biggest thing that's going to stick with me. Because I've had some tough times here, had some great times. So being able to overcome anything, I think this starts from my parents and how I was raised. I think that would just carry me through, my career and, outside of football.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Anybody else have a question for Chazz? Got a open window here, guys. If anybody wants to ask, okay, let's go over to Ross Martin.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of building on that, Chazz. I mean, it's a pretty incredible story. Do you ever kind of sit back and think about, struggling, quarterback, high rank recruit, you were like All-American nationally, and then going to UNC and obviously struggling at quarterback, but then making the tough decision to switch and a hard decision not to stay at UNC and become the linebacker you've been. I mean, do you ever sit back and kind of think about, I guess that those moments and what you've done in your career?
No, not really. I mean, maybe a little bit after the last season, but really just trying to look ahead and get better. I think I can still get a lot better. I was looking forward to this season, just trying to win every game, try to be as good as possible, and just try to excel in everything I do here. So I think, yeah. I mean, that's for, when I'm done playing, I'll look back on it. But for right now, I'm just like full speed ahead.
Do you ever, whenever it's on TV, they always talk about the switch. Do you ever think about how crazy it is? You went from quarterback to linebacker, or is it just not a big deal to you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think I've heard of anybody else doing it. So, I mean, definitely like if I was another person looking at, another guy switching from quarterback to linebacker and playing well, yeah, that would be incredible to me. It takes a lot. Not many people are able to do it. So I mean, yeah, from outside in, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool story. I know they, touch on it. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool. But I don't really think about it too much because it's me. So I just try to, go out there and work hard.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Okay, over to Gregory Hall.
Chazz, what would you tell your younger self as you get ready to start playing football at Carolina? What would you go back and tell him?
I mean, probably say just go play linebacker and go be 3 and out. But if we're being honest, but I mean, work hard, work as hard as you can, build the relationships. I think the relationships you build is the biggest, the most important thing you can do here. Those last beyond football. I think that's it. And then just work hard, try to outwork, everybody on the team. I think, the only way you can get ahead is really outworking everybody. So I think that would be the biggest thing. Just keep grinding. Never let anything get too big for you, or, don't let anything like difficult that's came about your way just like deter you from your ultimate end goal. So I think that's what I would tell myself.
And obviously your brother Sage took this year to focus on NFL aspirations, and I'm sure you had to kind of sit down and decide about that. As you look back, what have you gotten out of this year, and are you happy with that decision to play and keep playing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely happy with my decision. It's been a good year. We kind of hit some bumps in the road, but I mean, overall, I think I've got better. Our teams excelled. Got better in the course of the year. So, I mean, we just want to finish it off strong with these last 2 games, and see where that takes us.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go over to Luke Buxton, please.
So, Chazz, this is kind of a goofy question, but on the story of like this kind of movie-esque switch that you did from quarterback to linebacker, if someone were to make a biopic about the switch in your life, who would you want playing you in the movie?
Okay, like as an actor?
As an actor.
Who would you play? Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know. No guys that look like me. Yeah, I have no clue, to be honest.
All right, I officially stumped you. You got to be thinking about it. We'll come back next week or something.
I'll think about that one.
All right, let's move over to Adam Smith.
Hey, Chazz. Building off what Greg asked, when Sage decided that he wasn't going to play and get ready for the draft, what thoughts did that give you? How close were you to maybe making that move, and what were your conversations with him like? I mean, how tempted were you maybe to try to err on the side of caution and just get ready for the pros?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a thought. But I think the biggest reason I didn't is because Sage has played receiver all his life. I mean, he dominated last year. He had like 1,000 yards in 8 games. There was not really much for him to go out there and show anymore. As far as me, I wanted to come out and, become a better linebacker and, play with my team. I think I thought we were going to have a special year going into it. We were going to be really talented. I wasn't really too close. I wanted to get better, more polished as a linebacker before I came out, to go to the league. So that was really my thought process. I think we were kind of 2 different directions on our thought process going into the season.
And just to follow up on that, I mean, I know there's work still to do, but do you feel like that was a pretty sound decision based on what you've been able to do this season?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've gotten better from last year. So I don't regret my decision at all. I'm happy I got to come back and be my teammate and play these, 9 games, and looking forward to these, next 2.
Been around this program for a while, and I'm just kind of curious what your thoughts are about the culture of the program and just sort of the direction of the program now, given the fact that you've seen the ebbs and flows from when you came in to where the 5 wins in 2 seasons and now the different trajectory.
Yeah, definitely since I've been here, the culture has changed a lot, but what stayed the same, I think, is just the family atmosphere here. All the players, we play for each other. The same thing with the coaches. Even when the new coach comes in, he's here for us and we there for them. And then as long as we stay together, like, we know we could overcome any adversity, which we have. You've seen, like you said, in 2 years we won 5 games, but we just had to bunker down and stick to ourselves, and then we were able to get wins.
A lot of people have to kind of shake their head when they think back to the fact that you played a lot of snaps against Georgia in 2016. How long ago does that seem like to you? And how are you just different now, not just as a player, but just Tomon Fox, the guy?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. It's about, 5th year now? So that was my first year playing here, first game actually. It was nerve-wracking for me because I wasn't really supposed to play that game. You know, I was in the back end on the depth chart, but I got my snaps in and I just ran with it. But from there, I changed a lot as a player. I became a lot more confident in myself, a lot being able to learn the game better, you know, and just become a better player overall.
And as a person, as just a general college kid, not just an athlete, how are you different now than that day, that moment?
I'd say I'm just more mature overall. You know, being in college, being older, I should say. But yeah, I just matured since then. I was still a kid, so a high school kid, playing my first college game.
A lot more facial hair now too.
Yeah, definitely a lot more.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, over to Mark Armstrong.
Tomon, however Forum Senior Day takes this weekend, when you're walking out onto that field and presumably, you know, having your name called, what are the things that are going to be going through your head? Can you imagine at this point?
Nah, just right now, I wish my parents could walk out there with me. You know, that would be the best thing for me. But I feel like I don't know how I'm gonna feel per se, but I feel like once I'm out there, walking across that field, them calling my name, I might just have a quick flashback of everything I've been throughout college.
Are you a guy who tears up, or is that not in your?
Nah, I ain't gonna tear up. I know my mom will, but I ain't gonna tear up. Hey, yeah, Jeremy would too.
Let's go over to CL Brown.
Tomon, what do you feel like? What are some of the things that you feel like you missed out on because, in terms of being a senior in college, because of this pandemic? What's like the main things that you really wish you could have done, but you know, because it is what it is, you didn't have a chance to?
I mean, to me, like, I just like to stay to myself and be with my friends, you know, type thing. So with the pandemic, I can't really change that. Well, the biggest thing that changed for me was just not being on campus, you know, not being able to see all the students out there, not being able to see some of my favorite professors, you know, every day just walking across the quad and things like that. But other than that, I just been able to still do the same things.
Thank you.
Okay, Ross Martin, go ahead.
Hey, Tomon, kind of a unique situation where your brother's going to be on the team for, I guess, next 1 or 2 years. So you're going to stay close to the program, I imagine. And with that being said, like, how have you seen the program change kind of broadly from when you arrived to where it is now to where you think it's kind of heading in terms of just kind of program building and the culture?
Oh, yeah, I think what I see from them to now is definitely more of a player-led team, I would say. You know, even like the young guys are having some leadership roles. There's different like levels to it now. Before it was much like the coaches would say something, we do it, versus it just being like just the older guys making all the calls, this and the third. My bad. But yeah, I think definitely the younger guys have a huge leadership role now compared to what it was before. And that's like saying like with my brother and anybody else that's coming in or somebody's going to come in.
What do you hope for your brother in the next 2 or 3 years or 1 or 2 years?
Just do better than what I did, you know. Like he has the potential to be way better than me. I know it. He's the youngest, but not the smallest. He's actually the biggest. But he's the youngest brother, but he has the highest potential out of all of the brothers. So just keep doing his thing. I know he'll go far.
Cool. Thanks, man.
No problem.
Okay, last one for Tomon comes from Gregory Hall.
Tomon, what would you go back and tell your younger self as you get ready to set foot on UNC's campus and play 4 years of college football?
I'll tell myself just go out there and just be yourself. You know, don't be scared to mess up, and don't be too nervous. I think that's what I was. My freshman year, I just didn't want to make a mistake. I didn't want to get yelled at by the coaches and things like that. So I played a little timidly the center third. So just go out there and ball. It's the same thing. Football is football no matter where you go. It's just different people. So just go do your thing.
And then with your with being yourself, we obviously have learned about your tattoo artistry and things like that. When you look back on your just UNC legacy outside of football, what can you take away? And was it something that you thought was it what you thought your 4 years would be like, or were there surprises and just kind of all encompassing outside of football? What was that like?
I think it was a little surprising because, like you said, I do a little bit of art on the side, just into like tattoos and whatnot. I think I might would have lost that throughout college. I would have been like so focused on football that, I just forgot about this kind of thing. But, a lot of my teammates asked me for it and they brought it back out of me. So that surprised me that I was still able to do it. And I'm happy with myself. Keep doing it. And
then one word to describe your 4 years. What would that word be?
Just fun. I said it's just fun. I love being here. Love being around.
Good.
So you've had to juggle being a student, a dad, and an athlete. Talk about those 4 years and just how you did it.
I did it with a great support system. Had a great mom, great grandma, dad, coaches, and they're just everything. But I mean, it was definitely, I guess it was tough, but it's not as tough as people think it is, I guess.
And what is your legacy at Carolina?
What you mean with my legacy?
What do you hope people remember you by?
Remember me as a competitor. Somebody that always wanted to compete.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have a question for Dazz? Please use the raise hand function. Over to Mark Armstrong. Go ahead.
Dazz, how much did the hardship of the first couple of years make you appreciate having more success these last couple of years?
Most definitely a lot, because just coming from when we came from my first one, like 4 or 5 games my first 2 years, and really just like we was really used to it. We got used to losing, and I ain't never really lost that much my whole life. And like it was just at the point we was used to losing, and then to see Matt come in and change the whole thing in 1 year, definitely special. You're definitely grateful for it.
Okay, over to Ross Martin.
Yeah, hey, Daz, kind of building right on that. I mean, what has changed the most in terms of broad scheme, like program building? What's different about the program now than it was when you got here?
We everybody is bought in. I think that's the main thing. What we had at first, everybody wasn't bought in. Most people were bought in, but you had some people who believe in what they believe in. Some people doing their own thing. But when you got everybody bought in, everybody on the same page, that makes a big difference. And when you trust in your coach.
Great, thanks, man.
Okay, over to Andrew Jones.
Hey, Daz, you still got a couple more games to play, but on the field, for you personally, is there a moment that stands out that you kind of think to yourself, yeah, that was pretty cool. I was pretty good either that night or in that play?
Maybe against Miami last year. It was just a live moment. I didn't really hit a crowd like during the game, but I went back and I listened to a video in my car, and I had my aux cord plugged up, and it was so loud it scared me.
And as a receiver, what are some of the areas that you think you've improved the most in that will give you a chance at the next level?
I improved the most in, I think for one is my yak, my yards after the catch, and I think I improved in my hands. And what's something else I would say? And really just an understanding of the defenses and knowing what defense they are in before the play even snaps.